Howdy from Texas, everybody. I'm going to start sharing my screen, and I will share my presentation that is basically looking at why I should use Edulastic. A little bit about myself. My name is Esteban Gonnett. I'm a fifth grade teacher here in the Dallas Independent School District at Pleasant Grove Elementary. Our district is about 70% Hispanic and with English learners. So I'm very proud to be an English learner myself. I came to Dallas ISD 15 years ago, to the United States 15 years ago, but I have been teaching for over 30 years. I am here tonight because I believe in sharing, and most importantly, this year I became an abuelo, and that's Liam Andres, our grandson, who's 7 months. So I want to thank quickly the Edulastic team for the work you do, guys. Thank you, Lauren, Lisa, Eliana, Justin. If it were not for you, we benefit from everything you do, and we're so glad. So thank you guys for doing this. My presentation, if we look at the agenda, we will take a quick look at, this is going to be the intro. We will talk about what is Edulastic and why should I use Edulastic. That's a question I get most. There's so many digital platforms out there. Why should I use Edulastic? And then we're going to dwell a minute on the changes to the Texas state test, which is called the STAR, for the reading for English language arts in grades 3-5. And in closing, we will take some questions down for later. So let's go to the first. What is Edulastic and why do I need to use it? Well, I call this my 1-minute elevator speech. If I have to summarize and say, what is Edulastic? To me, Edulastic is a class kick that can be used with STAR assessments. I started using class kick a year and a half ago during the pandemic. And when I was getting to use Classic and getting excited about it, I discovered Edulastic. And then I found that in Edulastic, I could do all the features of Classic plus all these state assessments that were there already. And I didn't have to upload myself. So it was really awesome. So ever since, I still use Classic, of course, it's great, but I believe Edulastic serves my purpose better. Let's take a look quickly at the features that I believe are great about Edulastic. Number one, it's online. We know how important it is with these digital kids to show things on a screen. You can show something on paper, and but if it's on the screen, suddenly it changes. Number two, it provides data as soon as the activity is completed, like Karen was saying. We don't have to wait for that demonstration of learning to be graded. We can have it right there and then. Number three, it offers a chance to give students immediate feedback. I don't have to come back to them 2 days later and tell them, remember that piece we were doing? And then suddenly get them, huh? Of course they don't remember. When you give student immediate feedback, you can change the misconception right there and then, because probably they will forget the minute they step out that door, right? Number four, it also allows for true differentiated instruction. You can have assigned different activities and different things for different children. They're all going to be on their screens, and they're not going to be knowing what each other is doing, yet you know who's doing what, and you're giving each child what they need. Number five, one of my favorites, it makes my small groups for me. Before, I had to wait until I had my assessment to decide Johnny's going to go here, Peter's going to go here for the small group. Our district is extremely huge on small group instruction. We believe this is one of the things that is going to help us cover the gap because of COVID and because of the fact that we're an urban district. But this is one of the biggest things for me. Edulastic makes my small groups for me. Every time I'm looking at the data and we're looking at an assignment, when I see that John, Carlos, and Maria are struggling with question 3, I don't have to wait. I just pull them to my small group table. We go over the content and we say, you know what? This seems like central idea. So what was the central idea? And that's an opportunity for me to display my mini lesson, quick mini lesson, go straight into my changing the misconception. And between 80 and 95% of the times, the kids are able to change the questions themselves and go from the wrong answer to the right answer, which to me is huge. Number 6, it provides automatic grading. No more taking papers home. Number 7, standards-based questions. Here we get the rigor that we want, right? We also want to cover the gap, but we don't want to give up on the rigor and push those babies up towards higher order thinking. Number 8, it offers a wide item bank. This is amazing. Somebody was asking there if those in the chat, if those assessments had been created or if they were there. There's a huge item bank that has all sorts of assessments that can be used at every grade level. Number 9, it integrates with other platforms. I use Google Classroom with my students. It works so great because all I do is I assign on Edulastic. It is synced with my Google Classroom, and all the kids do is enter my classroom, Google Classroom. They just go to the assignment, and we save all the mess of having to remember a username and a password. They get taken straight to the Edulastic page. And last, but certainly not least, it is free. I am very pleased to be part of the Edulastic Innovator team this year, which means that I get a premium account. And I highly recommend it. I am very excited to see, and I'm still learning how to use some of the wonderful features of the premium account. Now, these reasons did not convince you to go for Edulastic. Number 11 might, because if you're a teacher in Texas, in 2021, every 3rd, 4th, and 5th reading STAR test will have a component of editing and revising. 4th grade no longer has that writing test, and everyone, 3rd, 4th, and 5th, has a reading and an editing and revising component. Every teacher in Texas is currently desperately seeking, where can I get materials for my editing and revising? It makes it difficult to find. There's nothing ready, nothing printed, nothing out there. Well, this is where Edulastic comes handy because I use Edulastic to practice editing and revising by using the 4th grade STAR writing test, which provides a great practice for the students themselves. Let's take a look at an assessment. I'm going to share quickly in 2 minutes as I finish my presentation, my dashboard here with my classes, and I can quickly go to my 5D. I'm a 5th grade teacher. I have 3 sections, and 5D here is working on an assignment. It is telling me that none of them have submitted it yet. Some of the students have completed all the way to question 10. Most of them have completed 1 and 2. The line here shows me how much time they have spent on each. And like Karen was saying, I can always hit the present button and hide their information, which means that I can use it without showing any sensible. Now, if we look at the students and we look at each student, we can see that Orange Car has completed 5 questions out of 30. Bluebell is barely starting and just skipped, and each of them shows you the data for each student. Now you can always use the card view to see the entire class, but at the same time you can go to students, and then you can go to individual students and see questions, and you can look and see how they're doing. Here we have 1 student, and I can see how this particular student is doing, how long they took to answer each question, and just know that they've only worked on 5 questions. So there's a lot more to see. There's plenty more. I don't want to take any more time. I just want to stop here. And if you have any questions that have to do with this, I'll be glad to stay behind afterwards to move on. But it may be that maybe you have used Edulastic before, but your kids hurry through the stories, or they're bored, they hate it, or they're not growing. Well, maybe then it's about time to look at something else. Okay. Usually there's another presentation I give that talks about how to reach students whenever you're using materials, because sometimes it's not the material you're using, sometimes it's how it's being presented, and it's more having to do with social emotional learning. So maybe we want to look into that. If you're interested, just let me know, and we can look into that. So thank you for being a great audience. I have 40 seconds left. It's been a pleasure to be here tonight. I have enjoyed learning from my more experienced partners. I am a newbie to Edulastic, but I'm very excited to be learning things. I am looking forward to seeing some Spanish in Edulastic because since most of my students are English language learners, I'm looking forward to seeing growth in that. I think it's a great tool that can also be used for students' growth. So I have 10 seconds left. I just want to thank you for being a great audience. If you have any questions, I'll be happy to address them at the end. Thank you, and back to you, Alana.